It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be
forward.
like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hi, my name is Lishay. I am a editor and researcher for Street Talk TV.
Hi, my name is Quito. I am an observatory resident and software engineer.
My name is Larry. I am an MC model and I'm a delivery operations expert for ordering.
My name is Khozo. I am a music producer and I am currently a professional at Citic Prepaid.
I grew up in Joburg and me and Khozo, we used to work together and then we ended up being very good buddies. So a little bit about me, I started off in primary school, acting, doing little school plays and stuff. And the passion sort of like developed from there. But here's the tricky part, like I always wanted to be a voiceover artist, right? Like National Geographic in the background because I'm kind of shy. So now I always wanted to do that. So we started off in primary school and then I did a couple of plays and stuff. Sports days, we did plays and whatnot. And then it developed more and more. And then I went into high school and we did pretty much the same thing. And then that's when I realized that I could be an MC. I mean, I could say something and then people could love it. And then after that, I joined modeling right after high school, which turned out to be an amazing thing. So it's sort of like a habitual thing now. So I really enjoy doing both, all three rather, with the MC as well.
I was born in Woodstock and grew up in Observatory in Cape Town. My background, I started off when I was younger, very interested in the music industry. I actually worked with Khozo a couple of times. Big fan of him. And then I became interested in technology and how we can use technology to like improve people's lives, basically. So I found myself studying computer science, and through a long journey, I've now ended up at a company called And Wider.
I grew up in Vosloorus in Joburg. And my background is DJing since high school, 2005. Music production, I started in 2007. And yeah, basically I've been in and out of the industry due to a number of reasons. But that's just briefly my background.
Do you study towards this music production thing, or is it just something that you like did by yourself?
No, I didn't study it. It's something I did by myself. So us as DJs, we just playing around with softwares and computer softwares and everything. So every time it was a daily thing, just music production, just getting a computer. It was 2 mini speakers that we had. I don't know, they were Mesa speakers, and just playing whatever keys and notes that you could play and just listening to it via those speakers. And yeah, it ended up being a habit actually. And I really enjoyed doing it.
With me, it's that I didn't go to school for that because with your background, how you grew up and family issues and stuff like that, I didn't really get a chance to sort of like have money to be funded into a project or like a school career to go and study for that. So what I would do, I would go into Google and then I would get some YouTube clips on how to behave or how to sort of like specific iterations. And then I had an acting coach that I found from Google. And I went to a house, so I was busy being taught, your pause, your pitch, your pace, all of those kind of things. But with everything MC related, I would watch normal reality TV. I'd watch like proper reality TV so that I can have an idea of how you can engage with people. And usually, if you have a way about your audibility, people tend to literally listen. So you perfect that. When you have a specific pitch and stuff like that, and people like that, then it depends on what sort of scene you're in, basically. And then you sort of like, get used to it, and then you perfect it in that sense. So for me, it was self-taught also. I didn't go to any sort of school to, I would have loved to though, bear in mind, I would have loved to, but there wasn't time to actually go there and do that because all of that money needed to be used somewhere else, you know?
Why did you choose to be an artist? Like what made you want to be an artist? Like what interested you that much to do music, basically?
Every song that my family, my mother and uncles used to play when I was a kid, I still remember all the artists that they used to jam to, all the whatever they were doing in the house when they're playing those songs. And they used to collect cassettes, cassette tapes and CDs after that. And I used to fiddle around with those cassette tapes, just record this radio show and then try and mix the song with the other radio show. And just to, because we didn't have the technology or the ability to get that particular song if you don't earn the money. So I had to make that mix up myself. So it then turned out that I met people who enjoy the same thing, love the same thing. They studied for it, some of them. So we just shared skills, shared knowledge, and enjoyed it together. And then once I figured out how to make my own songs, then that was just it for me. I just didn't stop from there. But I've always had, I think my dad had like this big box with CDs from all parts of the world. So it basically was my environment that conditioned me, as well as my passion for it, my pursuing it personally, because it's the environment sometimes molds you into who you are. But now the action that you take in terms of choosing to follow in that direction, the effort, the work, and all those things, that's what makes the decision to continue actually in that field and learn more.
When I was in high school, like events are the places that all the homies can gather, you know, and you just get to meet like different people from different walks of life and stuff. So I was inspired by that space, and being able to, just to communicate with all different people from all walks of life and keep learning and growing with them. I was just inspired by the people and the love that you feel in those spaces. Like everyone's like on the dance floor, you know, it's a good vibe. So I just wanted to make more of those moments.
I've worked with Quito, as you mentioned before. He's a very, very fantastic DJ, by the way. Almost way better than Black Coffee, but it's for him to mention.
I think with creatives, you sort of like find your passion along the way as you go. But for me, I think it's the love for people. I literally love people. I make friends in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing, because then when you find out where your energy is actually meant to be, and then you start, if you're actually not that ignorant, you start to become more and more of that person. It's the same thing how people say you got a lot of money and then money changes you and stuff. It really doesn't. It makes you more of who you actually are. So with me, I felt like people were sort of like one-sided, or maybe the realm that I came from at the time, people were sort of like one-sided. And when you come out and you're thinking out of the box, people tend to actually listen. And then when you decide, you know what, I can actually do this. And then it starts from there. And then you start, you know, repetition and that sort of thing. And it becomes a hobby. For other people, it's a lifestyle. Me and Khoto were like, let's just do a gig. I think it was the first week of December. We said, let's do a gig. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down with that. And we started saying stuff. We're sending messages out to people. Literally took 12 days, right? And then we hit the second largest club in Cape Town, Wonderland. And when we pulled up, Quito was already playing his last set, and then he left, and then other people came through. I was busy playing the lobbyist. I had to fetch some guy from the airport, you know, coming from Joburg to come through and play. So essentially, the moral of this story is we decided to put up a show for people because that's what we believe in. And people rocked up. and it happened in a spur of the moment. It was literally 2 weeks. Who books Wonderland in that short space of time? You understand what I'm saying? So usually, whatever you want, the universe decides to give it to you. You know what I mean? If it's definitely something that is alive to you.
Just don't let anybody tell you what you're good at or what you're not good at. Just all those things need to come from you. You know what you can do best. You know who supports you. You know, it can be one person that supports you. It's fine. The rest can just go take a hike. Doesn't matter. Do what you gotta do. That's it. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. Because at the end of the day, somebody is good at driving and he's 12 years old or he's 13 years old and is so good he can even spin a car, but I'm gonna expect that person to go and be a doctor. No way. There was Gugu here who was doing rally racing with Volkswagen and he was so good at it. He was so good at it. So I would say do what you want to do and do it yourself, tell yourself. Don't wait for the media to tell you what you're good at. Don't wait for validation from a recording artist or from a famous person or whatnot. They're not gonna validate you for anything. Just keep it all on you, believe in yourself.
We have spent half a millennia as Africans playing in somebody's shadow, you know? You grow up in a house, they say, oh, you look good, you look very smart, you're about to be a doctor, you're about to be a lawyer. You know, where's the money gonna come from? You spend like $250,000 for like 12 years of studying, and then he ends up working for ShopRite. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everybody out here cannot pay for his bills. I mean, that degree is worth like $60K after deductions, and they can't even give you what you're worth. You know what I mean? So I feel like do what you want. I'm gonna put in like a little snippet. I had a convo with my dad at one point because he really couldn't figure out what kind of person I was. So he says to me, go and be like a petrol attendant. I'm like, no way. You know what I mean? He would make like simple examples. I go do pick it up, you know, like me, never. You know what I mean? So it's then you find out that you're worth a whole lot more. Then if you figure that you are intergalactic, then that means that you have something very important that you need to share with other people. Do not conform. Don't do call centers. Like as a shocking thing as it might be of late, I feel like everybody is going into call center, leaving the market very vacant for a lot of things to happen. So do what you do best, do what you like, do what you're passionate about. Because remember, when you want to go out there in the world, for me, I always say it's passion over experience. There's always a very big difference. So people must just do what they feel like they need to do and not be coerced by family, the world and whatnot to conform to a specific norm.
My dream is for things to go back to the way it was.
My dream is for people to kill the pride and spread the love.
My dream is for people to listen to Larry.
Well, my dream is for people to just start using their heads as a network. Can't be using our phones as Wi-Fi only. We've got brains. Let's just come together, man. That's it.
Yeah, Z, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.